it has come leaps and bounds from when I got my first one.
What is your favorite 3D printer and why?
It would have to be the one that my favorite 3D printer would be the one that I just purchased a couple months ago. It's the Creality K1 Max, and it's my favorite because it's so much better than my old one that finally died, and I was able to get a new one. Printing. I first got a 3D printer because I had bought several drones to use for my photography, and I needed to create and build things for my drones. So that's why I first bought a 3D printer about 12 years ago.
Peter, what advice would you give to beginners starting out in 3D printing?
The advice that I would give is have a lot of patience. Because like I said, it takes a lot of tweaking at first to get all your settings right. And then depending on the kind of filament that you're using, you're going to have to adjust your settings, your layer height, your speed, your build plate heat, your nozzle heat. And so you really have to learn a lot about it. But once you do and get it all dialed in and your printer is actually working like you want it, there's nothing better of a feeling than knowing that when you hit print and you walk away, you're going to come back and that thing is going to be printing or done correctly. So it would be patience, research, YouTube, read as much as you can about it, and then just try new things. Try new and different things. Try changing the color of your filament halfway through a print to get multiple colors, stuff like that. So it's just really have fun.
All right, thank you very much, Peter.
You're welcome.
What got you interested in 3D printing?
So when I started this job here in 2018, I had never 3D printed before, but that was part of the curriculum that my administration wanted me to develop was, incorporating that into my STEM class. And so that's really my job here is what really got me into it the very first time. And I got hooked almost immediately, and it's been a great experience ever since.
Okay. What was your 3D printer?
The very first 3D printer that we had here was the MakerBot. What do they call it? I call it the Maker Trash. It's not my favorite. And it got us through, but it also kind of showed me that there's a lot more that a 3D printer could be, and then we kind of moved on from there.
Okay. What is your favorite 3D printer and why?
Oh boy. So I'm a big fan of these guys that are right behind us, the Bambu Lab X1 Carbon. I really enjoy them because they're super speedy, so they can print twice as fast as most other commercially available FDM type printers like this. They have the AMS changer, which allows them to switch and use 4 different filaments. So you could do multicolored things. You can use special dissolving filament for supports, and then just kind of put it in a tank of water or other kind of solvent that would take away the support automatically, so you don't have to peel it off. They are very connected, so they're just natively built to work with the internet and the slicer over the internet, so it makes managing the prints as a teacher especially super easy. Students can send me prints and I can print them to any of the various locations that we have these set up. I can monitor the prints from home. I get alerts on my phone when they don't work, so it makes our 3D printing go so much more seamlessly.
What advice would you give beginners?
Just number one, have fun. It would be the number one piece of advice. So it's an incredibly fun hobby. So design things that you want, or find files that other people have made that you would like to use. Have fun with it. Be silly with it. Be creative. That's the number one reason to have any kind of tool, is to have fun and be creative and express yourself. And then the number two piece of advice that is essential for every beginner is be okay with failure. There's a learning curve. You're gonna fail. It's not gonna turn out like you thought. Things are gonna be the wrong size. You're gonna end up with a spaghetti monster. You will have a giant ball of filament that built around the the hot end overnight, and you'll have to spend a lot of time repairing it. So failure is all part of it. I have learned so much because I have failed so much with these things.
Okay, and finally, can you show us and tell us about your favorite print?
Well, I mean, two that I just have kind of around the classroom is this was an old student project. I might bring this back at some point. This is a planetary gear. So I really like this just because all these print in place. So these aren't separate pieces that come out. So this all printed all at once at the same time. And, you've got these planet gears around the sun gear and the ring gear, and just like you would have in the transmission of your car. So it's a really neat mechanical concept. It's really fun to design. I remember this was I probably designed this one about 6 years ago. This was kind of the first thing where I felt like, yeah, I can use Fusion 360 to design things. So that one has a special place in my heart. And plus we've made smaller versions that are much easier to spin in your hand, and they're great to fidget around with. And then I'm also really into topography, especially Wyoming topography. So here's Heart Mountain, right? So this was kind of a project where I taught myself how to use GIS software to extract elevation data and turn that into a 3D model for printing. And so this Heart Mountain in particular was kind of the first time that I figured out how to do that. And I've kind of evolved from that, and I do this on other manufacturing methods like CNC and things like that now too. So this Heart Mountain is kind of one of those places that I started off a lot of my 3D printing stuff.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Conway.
Absolutely. Thank you.